Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we have another live stream. Hoping, wishing, praying that the live stream stays on. Made a few adjustments. Hope it works today. The live stream gods were not with us a couple days ago when I tried twice to do this topic, which I just changed the title a bit. We got about 12 minutes in, 13 minutes in, which for a lot of people, that's their YouTube videos, 12 minutes. But my live streams are usually an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So it was a little short for me. But I did think it was a good topic. It was sparked by someone on the Discord, which if you want to join my Discord, there is a link in the live stream description right to the side there that you can join Coach Mac McCarthy Discord. And I think it's a really fun way to interact and be able to post videos, opinions. What's up, Chris? And this is where this topic came from. It's not something I originally had come up with. It's something I've talked about before, but the way it came up. And what's interesting about something like breakup coaching advice or breakups, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. There's so many more ways to deal with a breakup than just one person's advice. And sometimes if you're just going to your friends, family, or colleagues, or the first person that listens to you, and you're in a desperate mode, or you're just looking for someone to tell you what you want to hear, or you really believe in that person, sometimes you can get some really faulty advice that messes things up for you for a while. I've had people come to me later on and go, I wish I would have talked to you earlier. Well, it's just the way it works sometimes. There's no regrets. You deal with what you deal with. The past is the past, and you move forward with good intentions. So today I'm going to get into breakup coaching advice. I'm going to talk about Corey Wayne versus Craig Kenneth versus Coach Lee. I'm also going to talk about Jocko Willink. He gave some advice on breakups, and it was touched on. It was posted on my Discord, the YouTube video. It's really nice how the Discord is, the way it's set up that you can post YouTube videos and things like that, and the way it's formatted. It's really, really clean. I really like the way that is if you want to share a YouTube video or an article. And so, like I said, please join the Discord. It's a good way to interact. So what had happened was there was a video, and I'm going to pull it up on my phone actually, because I found out that if I use my computer, this sometimes affects the live stream. To pull up the Discord. So the video is titled, "What's up, Roller Girl? What's up, Chris?" Will I get there? So Jocko Willink. That's right. It's Willink. I thought it was Willink. Willink. Let me get it correct. Names count. No one likes to be called not their name. You ever get that? Mm-hmm. It's like if I said Aleph, hey, Elf, you'd be like, hey, don't call me that, man. People don't like to have their names fucked up. So it's an interesting thing. Mm-hmm. They say that people's names are very important to them. That's why when someone goes, just call me whatever you want, I'm like, what do you want to be called? It's important. Because that's why you call your restaurant, your bars, your name. Because people like their name. Do you like your name, Aleph?
Yes.
Yeah, see?
I do.
And if someone messes it up, you're like, hey, man. I get Max a lot, or Matt for Mac, right? So I always have to correct people. I don't get upset about it. But if they continue to call me Matt or Max, it's kind of like, hey, it's Mac, right? So it's Jocko Willink. And he basically did a video. I think he was reading a letter of someone that got dumped or betrayed. And he was talking about how to get over a breakup and betrayal. And so you can find the video on the Discord, like I said, if you want to join my Discord. And basically what he said, and you could, like I said, watch the video for yourself. Get over it. And he said it in his Navy SEAL. He's yoked. This guy's a tough guy, you know. He's been through war. He's been through this. Get over it. Move forward. Move on. It's going to be difficult, but do it. Just move on. and get over it. And so on the Discord, Clutch, who also does, I believe, breakup coaching, he has a YouTube channel if you want to check that out. CLUTCH. He said, I really dislike this video. Talk about being an insensitive prick. No relationship recovery has ever helped by being that dismissive unless the person was a DA. And if they aren't likely to go to YouTube for answers. So this is what I responded, because I understand what Clutch is saying from his point of view. I said, yeah, everyone generally projects their own experiences and results from those experiences. Every human has this unique vision of how things should be and how you should be more like them. It wasn't until I lived in a foreign country did I realize, hey, wait a minute, it's okay to do things different. It's okay people don't always agree with me. It's okay people don't follow the rules I learned in my country. Everyone should live somewhere else for a year or two. It really changes your perspective. Now, the reason I said that was that where I'm going with that, it seems like it's a little off topic, is that everyone's perspective, when Jocko Willnick's giving this advice, the breakup or the relationships he's had in his life, this is how he's dealt with them. And it worked for him. It's like, get over it, move on, move forward. He's got this high level of confidence, and it works. So my point is, I said good post to Jesse, who posted it. I think a man like Jocko can easily give this type of advice because he's been trained to think a certain way and he's got a high level of confidence and self-esteem. He's a Navy SEAL, right? I mean, with that comes a lot of confidence. Now he has his own book and he has his own podcast. He's very popular. And he's going to say what he thinks and what he feels. And he's being honest. This is what he thinks you should do. I also like the idea that he encourages you to be alone, and if you're having a lot of trouble, look within. So this was part of the video also. He says, it's good, it's okay to be alone. I agree with that. I think that people that have trouble being alone or going out to eat by themselves, it's something that you can embrace while you're single, and something that can be very useful when you get back into a relationship, because then you can be comfortable on your own. And you can take breaks. I just dealt with someone that was a past client that had a breakup, and they came to me originally for a friend zone situation, and now they were facing a possible breakup. And he was feeling guilty about asking her to get alone time. Now think about that for a minute. She went away for it was something like house sitting. You know what house sitting is, Aleph?
No.
It's like babysitting someone's house.
Oh.
So someone goes away, they got a nice house or they got a nice place. Can you water my plants? They might have a cat or a dog, and you can just stay there. It's actually really nice. I used to do that. My ex-girlfriend was a nanny, so we used to do this for a lot of people, and used to stay in like nice houses, but they just want someone to take care of their dog. Mm-hmm. And make sure no one steals from the house. Anyhow, so his girlfriend went away. She's like, oh, come with me. And he was like, I was looking forward to her going away for 2 weeks. I didn't want to go. I wanted the house to myself. But he wasn't angry with her or upset. He just was looking forward to the alone time, because he had been single for a long time. He had his house to himself for a long time. But he couldn't convey it to her without feeling like she'd get upset. And I was like, just tell her that you like your alone time, and then build it into your relationship, where, I've done this over the years plenty of times. Go to eat by yourself. Go, you don't need to go with your girlfriend or your wife every time you go to eat or you go to the beach. And it's really good for you and your relationship to miss each other. So this isn't what Jocko said, but he was just saying that it's okay to be alone, man, in his words. Also, I wrote, the idea to not dwell on it or just get over it isn't so easy, nor is it the right thing to say when someone's got a fresh wound on the heart. So this is where Clutch said he kind of had a problem with the idea that he's just saying, just get over it, just get over it. Because if someone's fresh off a breakup, and this is where your story counts. Has it been 2 years? Has it been 5 years? Do you have kids together? Did she cheat on you? Did she steal from you? You don't just tell this to anyone. So in this particular case, I think there was some kind of betrayal. When it's fresh, you just got to listen, show some empathy. If someone continues on for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, if you're a good friend, at some point, if they respect your opinion, you could say, hey, man, you need to start getting over this. But when it's fresh, no, that's not the outlook. But over time, that is where you want to get, I wrote. In some ways, dwelling or complaining can be a part of the early process. The key is to realize on your own that you don't want to feel this way forever. So again, if it's early on and you're dwelling, you're shoulda, coulda, woulda, and it's only been 1 week out of a 5-year relationship of a woman you lived with, that's okay. That's okay. You can complain a little bit. You're not going to just come out as a Navy SEAL and be like, fuck this woman. I'm done. I'm getting back to the gym. Most people aren't built that way. And if you're going to do that, you have a right for a few days, a week or 2 weeks to complain a little bit, to be upset. And it's best to talk to a coach or a family member or a friend that will listen and not be insensitive. But at some point I wrote, and then get yourself off the mat. But I will reiterate, not all breakups or circumstances are the same. So there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Your story and how you view relationships and the world as an individual counts in you coming out of a breakup. Resurrected. This is a really good word. If anyone follows The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell, this is an element of most great movies and stories, is the resurrection. And I'm not talking about Jesus Christ. I'm talking about you went to bottom and you got back up. And it's the scene in most movies where you jump off the mountain and jump into the river, right? Apocalypto. And you come up and you're going to die and you come up out of the water. And this is what happens in life a lot of times. You lose a job, can't find a job for 6 months, you have no money, you find a new job, it's like coming out of the water. It's resurrected. So that's going to be your goal. That being said, if Jocko gave this advice to a fellow Navy SEAL, it would work well because they speak the same language and he'd have instant respect from the fellow SEAL seeking advice. So let me read this one more time from the top without anything. I think a man like Jocko can easily give this type of advice because he's been trained to think a certain way and he's got a high level of confidence and self-esteem. I also like the idea that he encourages you to be alone if you're having a lot of trouble, to look within. The idea to not dwell on it or just get over it isn't so easy, nor is it the right thing to say when someone's got a fresh wound on the heart. But over time, that is where you want to get. In some ways, dwelling or complaining can be a part of the early process. The key is to realize on your own that you don't want to feel this way forever, and then get yourself off the mat. But I will reiterate, not all breakups or circumstances are the same. So there is no one-size-fits-all answer. Your story and how you view relationships and the world as an individual counts in you coming out of a breakup resurrected. That being said, if Jocko gave this advice to a fellow Navy SEAL, it would work well because they speak the same language and he'd have instant respect from the fellow SEAL seeking advice. So what I'm saying is, if you're ex-military, if you're a guy that works out in the gym, if you're someone that's like Jocko Willink, or if you're someone that absolutely has read all his books, watched all his podcasts, and he gives you advice, you might be going, okay, Jocko, I'll do that. Because you got this huge level of respect for him. So maybe what he says is going to resonate more with you. Now, this is where I come to the part about Corey Wayne versus Craig Kenneth versus Coach Lee. So these are three of the most popular. I don't know if Craig Kenneth calls himself a coach or not. I think he might call himself a therapist. So I don't want to say that if that's not what he goes by. But let's just say these are three of the top YouTube personalities or YouTube channels for breakup advice slash coaching and relationships. I think Corey Wayne also gives business advice. But you might be thinking I'm going to tell you who's the best. Because I did write that in the post earlier. Who's the best? The question is, who's the best for you? I don't know who the best for you. I mean it wouldn't work better for Aleph or Danny or John or anyone else out there because of how you look at things. So this is my point. When you say Jocko Willink, when you look at Jocko Willink, he's someone that you're gonna get advice from if you relate to who he is as a person, because he's telling you what he would do. And if you're more like him, then his advice might be better for you. But if you're not like him, if you are someone from the Silicon Valley that is a computer programmer, values good books over the gym, etc., doesn't believe in war, doesn't believe in the military, etc., then you're probably not going to line up with his viewpoints, and hence not bother going to him for his advice. And this is an issue. This is the issue that a lot of people have. They go to people who don't line up with their values and who they are, and then they go, I don't really like this advice, but I'll follow it. Don't follow advice that you don't feel good about, because belief's a big part of it. And if someone gives you advice, you should be questioning the advice. You should be questioning if the advice is feels good to you. So when you look at Coach Corey Wayne, a lot of people like him. He's very popular. He's got a certain approach. He's got a certain confidence about him. He has a book that you can read. He has a lot of videos. What you want to do is you want to watch some of those videos and see if it resonates with you. And then the other part of Coach Corey Wayne that a lot of people go, well, he's $1,000 an hour. Well, he's been popular enough to do that. If that's not something you can pay for, then you can watch, his, I think he's got 2,000 plus videos, and then watch his videos and see if you can get something from it. Craig Kenneth, different approach, different delivery. And that's what I said a couple days ago. A lot of this information about breakups, a lot of it has to do with delivery, packaging, voice, tone, stories, narratives. And so when you watch someone, sometimes you just know, I don't like this person. And here's one thing that's really interesting about not liking someone or their approach. Sometimes it's for shallow reasons. I've talked about it before, like someone else mentioned on the live stream. Craig Kenneth has a very high-pitched voice. And so for me, it's like Audible. I listen to audiobooks. Sometimes I'm like, I wish there was a different person reading this book because I don't like the tone of their voice. Is that personal? No, it's not like I don't like that person. It's just, it affects the delivery. That being said, Craig Kenneth's very popular. A lot of my clients actually talk to Craig also and give me back feedback about that. So Coach Lee, who for me, when I watch his videos, is extremely dry. It's a close-up. There doesn't seem to be a lot of emotion or character built into that. And the guy is extremely popular. He's got who am I to say? And I asked Danny, I'm like, what do you think about this guy? And Danny's like, I like that approach, that he's not animated or doesn't have stories to tell as much. And for me, it's like like a minute in, it doesn't grab me. If I had to pick out of the three, it would be Corey Wayne all day, because Corey Wayne's, he jokes a bit. We have a similar sense of humor in some ways. He likes to break down a story, which is something I like. He breaks down emails and stories about past clients. And so I like his approach. Does that mean that he's better than Craig Kenneth or Coach Lee? No. because someone else will go, oh, I love Coach Lee, and I talked to him and he really helped me out. The only way to judge things is to actually go to that person and take a chance, pay them. And the great thing about YouTube, you can watch all their videos and decide before you go to them if it's going to work or not. Everyone I talk to before we talk, they can watch the videos, and then when we get on a live coaching session, they go, oh yeah, they're already locked in because they know they like my approach or my style. Now, keep that in mind too. Like, I tell people to write a story. I've had people go, I don't want to write a story, I'm not good at writing. Well, that's the way I do it. That's the way I value it. That's what I think is valuable to you. That's how I approach my coaching, and I think it's valuable. If you don't like that, I believe that Craig Kenneth is more of a conversation, a back and forth. And like I said, he hangs his hat on being a therapist. He has a master's degree, I believe in that. And so there's other people to go to for it. There's definitely other people to go to for it. When you start saying this person sucks or they're not good, you're just saying they're not good for you, because of the way you look at the world and your viewpoints of breakups and relationships. That's all it is. That's all it is. And that's why I don't go around saying, oh, don't ever use this coach or don't ever use this. Go for it. Tell me how it went for you. Tell me how it went compared to me and you talking. Tell me how I can be better. Pretty much all of my clients, I'll ask them if it was useful and helpful. That's my goal. Is this useful and helpful moving forward? Not, hey, let's configure some strategic way to get your ex back tomorrow. That would be Breakup Brad Browning. Hey, this is Breakup Brad, and I've got a few things in the video later on that I'm not going to discuss right now that are first-time secrets in getting your ex back today. But I'll get into that later on. It's a sales pitch. It's a pure sales pitch, right? And it gets people because they're like, "Oh shit, he's gonna give me the keys to the kingdom on getting my ex back," and so people like that. And you know what? Maybe the advice he gives works. I don't know. My approach is always going to be, let's break down your breakup, get the puzzle pieces out, unpack this thing, and really get to the bottom of what happened, what's your meanings, what's your points, and get to the bottom of that. And if you have enough money, you can talk to multiple coaches. That's fine, right? But if you're going to go online and you look at Jocko Willnick's advice and you go, this guy's a jerk. I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he said this. Okay, for you, like I said, if Jocko Willnick's talking to a fellow Navy SEAL or someone that goes to the gym or someone that's read his book, 5 times, his message is going to resonate with them more. And so the same advice never goes to the same person. And if you're really good at counseling or coaching, you learn your client. You learn their language. You learn how they look at the world. And then as you unpack their breakup or their problem, you provide different paths to the solution. And at the end, they make the decision. I've had people say before, for example, they go, should I write a letter? This is a big one. Should I write a letter to my ex? I want to write one more letter. Okay, why do you want to write the letter? A lot of times, not always, a lot of times I'm like, it's not a good idea in my head. Especially if you've been knocking on the door 1,000 times, especially if you've been pathetic or you've been chasing. A lot of times it's not a good idea. But instead of saying don't do it, which most adults and humans don't like to be told what to do, especially when they're paying you money, you go, well, why do you want to do it? Okay, so what's your intentions? What do you really want from that letter? Because a lot of times people are lying to themselves. They go, I just want to tell her one more time that I love her and that the door's open. You've already said that 3 times, so you don't think she understands that? Well, yeah, you're right. You have to unpack it in a way that you spend some time on the situation. You spend some time. What's up, Full Circle Productions? The hardest part about the letter just to unpack that part, is there's anxiety built in. First, there's anxiety. If there's anxiety about writing a letter, then you really don't write it, because that means you're very attached to the outcome, and it'll bring you down to ground zero if it doesn't work out. The reality is you go, what are my real intentions with this? Is this going to be one of those situations where I'm hoping and wishing that this letter turns the corner of us getting back together? Because usually a letter doesn't work that way. If it's a declaration, if it's a goodbye, if it's a, I just need to say these things and get them off my chest and move forward and move on, then do it. But a lot of people say that, but they don't mean it. They're hoping it somehow sparks, oh, maybe she'll read this and feel sorry for me and come back. Maybe she'll read this and realize how good we were together and come back. That's why we got to talk about it. There are times where I'm like, go ahead and write the letter. Send it to me. Tell me what, people be like, is this I'm like, it's fine. Now, if you went to Corey Wayne, Craig Kenneth, Coach Lee, they probably all would give you a little bit different advice on the letter, how to write it, or how to go about it. That doesn't mean anyone's wrong. When you start looking for advice on your breakup, your business, whatever, this is what you really want to do. This is going to be, I only got 8 on deck right now, but this is the key to this whole damn topic. Number 1, go to someone you respect. And not just, you just respect who they are. They're an honest person. They got good morals. Okay? They have a pretty good way about, they might not necessarily be perfect. They care about you in some way. They're not going to give you completely biased information. Number 2, you should believe in that person when they give you advice, because of who they are and who you believe them to be. You're taking a chance because sometimes advice could be wrong. Do you have a good rapport with that person? Rapport means do you line up with each other? The reason why you're really good friends or have a really good colleague at work is rapport. You have things in common. You interact well. You like a lot of the same things. And a good coach is able to build rapport easily by getting to know you, by putting you first. Now, what I value doing is providing you with more options. So if you didn't write the letter, what are your other options? What's alternatives to that? Maybe you're stuck on writing a letter because you watched one video that said it worked. But if we're going to say that a letter is a bad idea, what are your other options? Let's just talk about them. Let's get the puzzle pieces out. What are your other choices here? The second thing I'll lead with is empathy and good intentions. But I'll also, especially if we have a second coaching session, I'll also tell you when you're really wrong. And that's empathetic, by the way, too. So let me tell you something. If I was going to someone for breakup coaching, which I'm not, but I've been in breakups before and I've sought out advice. And now if I was going to put together the few things that I would really seek, what I value is when someone gives me extra time. That means like if we're booked for an hour and we go over 5 or 10 minutes, I feel like, thanks, man. And it's not because I don't value their time. It's because I'm one of those, it's going to be a while. I like to talk. That's who I am. And I feel like one of the things probably in mainstream therapy that's overlooked is the fact that we got you scheduled in for an hour. It's been great this week. I'll see you next week, which means I'll make more money from you. We'll come back to this problem. But here's what I believe. If you're in a really good session and because some people, when I talk to them, it takes them 20 minutes to kind of like relax and kind of divulge some things. Sometimes it takes them a second session. But if we're going into something and they're just getting cooking and it's been an hour and I don't have someone behind you, let's go into the second hour. Let's do 2 hours. Let's do 2.5. If you think about it this way. If you're sick to your stomach and you ate something bad, do you just throw up half the food and save it for tomorrow to throw up later? I mean, seriously, you got to get it all up. And sometimes it's repeating yourself. That's why the first session should be 2 hours. I've talked to Kyle over at Masculine Energy about this. He says he averages an hour and a half, 2 hours. He doesn't put a time limit on his, but he charges $200. A lot of my sessions go over. The other thing, don't rush people. I've heard this from other people that have had coaches that are more busy or counselors. Oh, we only got 10 minutes left. If I'm being rushed or I'm being pushed into a decision, choice, or idea, I don't like that. I want to talk about it some more. I want to talk about choices, alternatives. I paid you to listen to me and give me options, but I don't want to be rushed. And I also want the person to be listening intently and asking me questions. Call me out on some shit. Well, what's your real intentions on that? Why do you really feel that way? Versus judgment. You know how different that is? When someone says, I'm asking a question because I'm curious and I'm ignorant. Ignorant means you don't know. I don't understand. Can you reiterate that? Can you say that again? Judgment is, what? What the fuck? Why would you do that? Judgment is, I already think you're stupid for asking that because I don't think that. Curiosity and ignorance is, let me learn you a little bit more. Why do you think that way? Okay, that actually makes sense. Is that serving you? The other thing I would want if I was looking for someone is you make an effort to learn about me. What do I do as a job? How old am I? Where do I live? I do a lot of this up front in the coaching. I'll ask some personal questions, not personal in the sense that are too personal. That's what builds rapport. And in the end, your approach isn't, hey, Mac, do this, this, and this. You help me make a better decision on my own. Now, I don't know if Corey Wayne, Craig Kenneth, or Coach Lee do these things. If I had to pick one, I probably would go with Corey Wayne. That being said, like I said, Craig Kenneth, Coach Lee are a lot less money from what I understand. I'm not sure what Craig Kenneth's up to. I haven't had someone that's told me about their experience with Coach Lee. But again, this comes back to you choosing something. You choosing something or someone that resonates with you. This isn't about who's the most expensive, who has a PhD. None of that stuff goes to the side. The best, and here's what else I wrote in the Discord. There's something called modeling. Do you know what that is, Aleph? Mm-hmm. Not women. I know. Modeling is, it's actually really interesting. So if you're aware of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, you guys can look that up on your own. I put a article on that on the Discord, excuse me. And basically, you find someone who's really good at something and you model them. Instead of going, this happens with pickup artists, right? If you go look at Neil Strauss's book, The Game, this is a classic case. Neil Strauss was a dork or a nerd or not very cool. I think he'll say that. He had a lot of trouble with women. He went on a rock tour. He was a writer for Rolling Stone, which is a really cool job. And he couldn't get women to save his life. So he didn't read a book. He didn't do all these things, different things. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But you know what turned the corner? He found some guy that was an incredible pickup artist, and he hung out with the guy. And the guy transformed him. That's modeling. He didn't say it was modeling, but that's what it is. Let me go to the guy that's really good at this. Let me ask him what he did. Let me hang out with him, and let me take up what he does. Right? So if you're looking for help with a breakup, number one, you need to look at someone that you think's been through it before. That's why I reference being in breakups before, because I'm over it. I just reference it. I've gotten through it. I know the feeling of feeling bad. I know the overreaction to things. I know the dark, sad, upset, surprising, shocking feeling where you're like, fuck, why am I so sad about this? Why am I so upset? That I can relate to. That's why I share the story on my own stories on my channel. I've done that in the past many times. So if you're gonna seek out someone for breakup coaching, think about that for a minute. If you were going to be, this is kind of an interesting question. If you were going to be a breakup coach yourself, obviously you're in a breakup right now, so you're not ready to do that. Who would you model? Who would you want to be like? Whose approach would you like to emulate or simulate? That's a good question, right? It is. I look at it and you go, I like this guy. But it's like, I really like this person. It's an apprenticeship, right? It's what they did in the olden days, back in the day, is if you wanted to be a blacksmith, then you worked with a blacksmith. If you wanted to be a carpenter, then you worked with a top carpenter. And so when you go into this breakup thing, look at it that way. Not just the person that you think, oh, they're gonna get me my ex back. Do I respect this person? Do I really respect them? Do I respect how they talk to people? It's a really good question. At the end of the day, the best breakup advice for you is the only judgment of that is you. The only judgment of that is you. Now, the highest reviews I've seen of past clients for me that have talked to multiple coaches, that they always like the dating guy. This is some guy that I believe he does a lot of email. And they say, I like you, Mac, and I like the dating guy. I don't know if it's because we have similar outlooks or what, but they tell me that they like us both. I get that comment a lot. I've heard other things about the other coaches, and I'm not going to say bad things because I think it's shallow to go out and go, someone told me this guy's this bad or this guy's that bad. I'm also a coach. We're all on the same platform, and some people like different people. That's fine. But I would not discount other coaches because they might line up with you. They might line up with you. They really might line up with you. And if you go into a coaching session and you already don't like the person, it's big. You know how much it affects how you like someone? Sometimes how they look. Like it counts. Not because of, not even necessarily because you're attracted to them. But I've said this before. Someone could look like someone in your past that you never liked, someone you got in a fight with. That can affect things. Or they can look like an old friend of yours and you're like, I just like this person. I don't know why. It really is different with different people. So when you go into breakup coaching advice or any advice, look at that person's body of work. And before I got into breakup coaching myself, sometimes you don't have access to a lot of people. So I would say I was emulating or working towards Corey Wayne more. But then from that starting point, I evolved into my own style and my own way. So sometimes you need to start at a certain point like that. All right, let me get into the live stream because it's been 38 minutes in. I've gone on and on about this. Chris Boutron, if you're still on, you're welcome for unpacking your story. Feel free to write back in an update. I read Corey Wayne book 4 times. Still go back today, see my highlighted notes. Good for you. It's a very simple playbook on women and attraction, and I think it's useful. Hi, Mac and Alice. It's Aleph.
You know what? Wherever I go, they always call me wrong, like Alice, not Aleph.
Aleph's not a common, like I told you, at least it's not Alf.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know who Alf was before, and then you looked him up and you're like, no, I'm not Alf, the alien. Philip Carlson, if you're still on, I'm well. Thanks for checking in. I hope you're well out there in Michigan. Yamel Brider, hello, how are you? I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. Full Circle Productions Media, No letter, brah. Just getting the notification. I don't know why that is, Rob. I'm working towards getting this thing going. I'm getting tired of people saying. Someone just sent me a Discord message recently. They're like, Coach, you're doing something wrong because you should have a lot more views. There's something not right about your channel. And it's not because of your content. And I thought to myself, I'm getting tired of reading this shit. I got to put some more effort into this, figuring this out. Because I fucking agree. I could go, oh, I can't believe this person and this person and this coach have all these views. I mean, Coach Lee, 2 or 3 days, this guy's got 14,000 views when he posts a video. Hats off. I don't know what it is. Someone might go, it's great content. Okay. I'm not saying I'm better, but I'm just as good with a different perspective. So yeah, I got to put in some work and figure this thing out. The goodbye acceptance letter worked in my case. Okay, empty soul. So that's what I would say. There's been moments where someone wrote a letter and I said, good idea. Do it. Call me afterwards if you need to talk about it. If you're going to do a goodbye acceptance letter, you really better be able to say goodbye and accept it. I wrote a letter once to an ex, never again, but best and worst experience. I did it once before too, and it wasn't a good experience. I've talked about it before. It wasn't good. It was a dagger of a response. I remember that, like, ugh. But never again will I write a letter. Only person with my will be my mother. Pete says, dick pics would always be a wrong. Haven't seen a single coach promote that as being a good idea. All right, that's pretty random, Pete. What's up, Skinner? Chicago. An ex wrote a letter over 6 years back, and it was overwhelmingly alleviating, especially because I felt like I was in a good place. When I read the letter, it definitely helped me fully move on. All right, Yamel, So the ex wrote a letter to you that made you feel like you could move on easier. Was that the intention of the ex, for you to move on easier, or did they want you back? Just had a woman slide in my DMS and wants to be my sugar mama. So what's holding you back? Is that something you want? We've done 2+ hours. The extra time is beneficial, helps get things fully unpacked. It does, Pete. It does. If we're in a good session, and Pete knows, and what I'll do is I'll jump around a little bit, not intentionally, but to lighten up the conversation, to have some playfulness, to have a few things to laugh about, so it's not so fucking serious. There's got to be, in 2 hours, something that you're looking at way too serious, that when you take a step back, you go, fuck. I can't believe I brought a gift basket to her door with her favorite smokes. I've had someone do that. I'm like, okay. I mean, Craig Kenneth can be up to $700 per hour. That's amazing. You know what? If he gets it, more power to him. I mean, $700 an hour. It's 21,000 baht, Alice. Dark Knight's on. Isn't the new Batman supposed to be out?
No.
Danny says no, he knows. I thought it was supposed to come out in January, in the beginning of the year. There's a new one out, right? There's a new one coming out?
Yeah.
Dark Knight should know. If anyone knows, Dark Knight knows. What's up, Jen, Vacaville's finest? One thing I really don't like about DG is that recently started censoring comments on his YouTube channel. Who's DG? DG. I don't know who that is. We live. What's up, Coach? What's up, Aleph? I haven't gave Aleph a lot of time to talk today. I apologize. Aleph, do you want to say some things?
No.
I sometimes I just go on and on. I know people have dated people who look like their ex. It's uncanny. What's that?
It's like, I thought about what you said. Is when we like someone, we gonna really for someone that we don't know, right?
Yeah, there's some people you meet, like you could be like, oh, this is my buddy John, and I meet him, and right away I'm like, I don't like this fucking guy. I'm not like that usually, by the way. It takes a lot for me to not like someone. My niece and nephew are like that. Like recently a year ago, they came to Thailand, I think a year and a half. And we go around and, you know me, Aleph, like I'm pretty friendly with most people, right? Like a waiter or waitress. I know a lot of people here, but there's not a lot of times where I'll be cold or I won't talk to someone. But every once in a while, I'll be like short with people. And my niece and nephew are like, what's wrong? I was like, I just didn't like that person. I just don't like them. I just don't. One of them is overbearing salespeople. If someone starts out, and one of the worst in the world in the past was timeshare people. You had them in Thailand a long time. You know timeshare? Do you know what that is? So there's this. It's not a condo. It's not a house. Timeshares are you're gonna buy a week. One week a year in a condo or a hotel, but it might be like 20 grand, but you're going to get it for the rest of your life. And it was a very pushy sale to people when they're on vacation. And the people that do timeshare, not all of them, but a lot of them, they're very good at sales and they're very quick. And so in one sense, I've heard their sales pitch. They're good. I've been in sales before and I take a different route, so I know where they're going. I know where it's headed. So I can sense you're not being genuine. You're just trying to. You start out like, oh, what's your name, man? Where are you from? Da 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 da. Hey, man, did you want to step into this restaurant today? Like, and then comes the sale, and then you realize you weren't just trying to be friendly. You're leading me into something. And so when I smell that from someone, I'll just be like, all right, I'll just be short with them. I won't be an asshole. I don't want to talk to them. But you're right. When you meet someone that looks like someone you know or reminds you of someone and someone you don't like them usually as much.
Yeah. I just think about like my crush or who I like. It just remind me of.
Oh, positive.
She just remind me of someone like Avril Lavigne smile. So
who?
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
God, you're in love with her. So she reminds you of her smile.
Yeah.
Danny's just shaking his head. But it's the same thing with, cars. As weird as it sounds, like if I see a 1988 Ford Bronco, I'm like, that was my first car. That was like a cool ass. If I see one of those, I'm always like, yeah, man. So I mean, it's that's how it is. Derek D said, I know people who have dated people who look like their ex. It's uncanny. Yeah? Like they get someone. I got one better for you. Now tell me I'm wrong on this, Danny and Aleph. You guys will get a kick out of this. Korean couples look like brother and sister a lot of times.
I don't think so.
Have you ever seen, you don't see a lot of Korean couples here in Thailand. You don't. But I've taken Korean Airlines quite a bit. And so I've been in the Korean airport. And one of the things, and this is actually true. I think that Korean people that live in Korea would agree with this. So this is not like, oh, you're just assuming this. The couples will actually dress in the same outfits. I'm serious, Danny. Like, and it'll be like a Mickey Mouse T-shirt, or if like it's like if one's wearing a Michael Jordan jersey, the other one will wear the Michael Jordan jersey together. I mean, it's like, and you'll.
Yeah, I can picture it.
Look it up online. Like I said, if you Google it, you'll see it, and you're just like, what the hell? But the character, a lot of them look like brother and sister, because like in Korea, I feel like a lot of the facial features and their look are the same. I've told you this before. Like in Thailand, you got people with light skin, dark skin. You got tall. Your culture is very mixed in the sense that of how you look. Would you say that's true? No, you don't think so?
Yeah.
You're saying that if I line you up and I line Danny up and I line up 100 Thai people, would you be like, oh, I can tell they're all Thai right away? You understand my question, Danny?
Yeah, not.
You guys, you don't have like, when I see like 20 Korean people, they look Korean. They have the same features. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Mm-hmm.
When I see Thai people, you guys, a lot of you have different features. Does that make sense, Danny? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It doesn't mean you're Thai. You're a Thai person, but you wouldn't look like someone. It could be regional, but it's not always regional, right? So Aleph doesn't get it. I can tell. What? Do you feel like you look like most? Isn't there people that go, "Oh, you're Thai,"
Yeah.
because they don't think you're fucking Thai, right? Because
Yes.
you don't look Thai,
Mm-hmm.
but you're Thai. Is that true? Danny might even get it sometimes. Correct?
Yeah.
See, that's my point. Because you don't have the look, but really in Thailand, every region's kind of different, right? So. One thing I really don't like about DG, okay, I read that earlier. More than likely, views over time. You got to advertise yourself like Brad Browning and say you're YouTube's #1 breakup coach. Fuck that. I'll never. It's so funny because a friend of mine, when I first started, was like, hey, man, you got to copy this guy, Brad Browning. I'm like, no. It's like, I'd rather sell vacuums. I do you guys an even worse one. I sent a letter to a girl I never dated. What did? Well, was that like when you were younger? It's not that bad. I've never done that, but yeah, energy and tone is key, isn't it? It is. If you build it, they will come. Hey, coach, you're half Thai? No. Somchai Ketchon? Did you write that?
Somchai.
Somchai Ketakan.
Some shy is like
Somchay. Chay. Somchai is a man. Somchay is a woman.
Some shy is like the
Is it
most common Thai
Thai
name
name?
for male.
Mhm.
Like
Really?
John.
But it's Somchay.
Yeah.
Isn't it AI for Somchai?
Yeah. It's AI.
No, I'm not half Thai. I'm American from California, but my mom's half Spanish, half French, and my dad's Irish. When you do sales, you have to be aggressive. Always be closing. But that's never been my approach. Maybe that's why I'm not on Wall Street. Glenn Ross style, yeah. I mean, sometimes they glorify that stuff, but do you really like those people? It's like Wolf on Wall Street. Great movie. Have you seen The Wolf on Wall Street?
Oh yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Highly entertaining. Like, if you had a son, would you be like, I want you to end up like this guy? No.
No.
It's moral-wise, the guy's a complete asshole. Right? Like, they're glorifying this guy. And I watched it, and I liked it. It was fun. It was good. And I'm like, dude, this guy's living a great lifestyle. But if you really think about it, you deserve to go to jail, dude.
Yeah.
Like, when you were calling up people in the newspaper and selling old people bullshit stocks, that can't be put to the side in the name of entertainment and cash and prizes. That can't be like, when he went around, he's like, I made 20 million this month, or I made 20 grand this month. I have a Corvette. If you tell me that you did it by taking advantage of old people, and there's people out there like, yeah, I want to become like the Wolf on Wall Street. Like I said, I hope people can decipher between the movies and what's wrong and right. And this is why we have a lot of problems sometimes with people's morals. You can soft sell to the weaker-willed folks, but in NY, Cali, Texas, you have to put on a show and you have to be aggressive. Derek D, are you in sales? Is that what you're telling me? Possible topic for a live, first love syndrome. I actually was going to talk about, did I talk about that recently, first love? That was on deck for one of them. I didn't call it first love syndrome, but I just had a client that had that situation. I think I talked about it recently. I think when you are Asian, you can differentiate Asians. To me, most Asians look alike. Adversity, non-Americans think black people look alike. I bet if I showed you Aleph that you'd think he might not be Asian. Some people don't think you're Asian, right?
Yeah. The worst thing is some people that assume that I'm Indian.
I wouldn't say you're Indian, dude. Aleph kind of looks like Babe Ruth a little bit. I've told him this before, I told him is one of the most famous American icons in history. He looks a little bit like Babe Ruth. We'll get him on camera soon. No, they'll get a kick out of that. But you do. You look a little bit like Babe Ruth. I'm Thai too, says Sam Chai. Is it Sam Chai? You don't have to say my bad. Where are you at in the world? Are you in Thailand? I was 21. I'll never do anything like that again. I basically told her all this sappy shit, and looking back, it's embarrassing. She didn't even deserve it. Plus, I'm sure a lot of people read it. Life goes on, man. No regrets. All paths lead to now. And now the good news is, brand new Skinner, you can laugh about it. That's the really good thing. When you do something kind of like that and you're like, don't take it so serious. A lot of people have done it. You probably were influenced by some Hollywood movie, which a lot of people are. And you know what? Sometimes that shit works. You know, there's a woman out there that goes, oh, I just love a romantic like Skinner. But the worst is when they show all their friends and I'm like, oh my God, 'cause it felt so good, but at the same time they're being disrespectful to you. But you know what? Happens a lot. Mac, do you think people hold richer people or an unfair standard? I'm looking at this situation with Kyrie Irving, and I feel like he was just another random dude. No one would care. To be honest with you, I don't know the Kyrie Irving situation. I do believe that celebrities and people that are rich are always going to be held to a different standard because I think most people, myself included, look at it like, what are you complaining about? Like you're rich, and it might be an ignorant statement because we're not in their shoes, and they're people and they have feelings too. I don't know what happened or why he's not playing. I haven't read into that. I will say this: Kyrie Irving is very outspoken and whatnot. If his job is to play basketball and he gets paid very well for it, I can see the other sides of it. I find it hard to feel sorry for people that make 20, 25 million. And again, I don't know what's going on with Kyrie Irving. I don't know what his personal matters are right now, so I'm not being insensitive. But I think that there is always going to be an unfair standard, and that's why let's just face it. I've had this as a topic in school before at the university level. Why do we all enjoy gossip about movie stars and famous people getting in trouble? Because let's face it, right? There's always been an element in every country of, oh, this superstar cheated on their wife or this superstar was on drugs, and everyone reads about it. Number one, people think they know them because they know them in movies or music or on sports. So you're like, oh, I know Michael Jordan. No, you don't. No, I know Michael. You know, so anything that happens to that person, you think you know them. Number two, deep down, it makes people feel better because they go, oh, their life's not so perfect. Ha, ha, ha. I mean, there's not a lot of people out there that get like, oh, I feel so bad for Michael Jordan right now. Some do, or any of these people, because they look at it like, man, how could you be upset when you're making $20 million a year? I think all my worries in my life would be so much better. And you know what? I think that. I'm like, I'd be a generous rich person. I'd be dancing on water. But then you talk to people, and you're like, I've met rich people, I've had friends that are rich people, and they always say, it's not as great as you think just to have money. But I always think to myself, I think I'd do pretty good with it. Aleph's thinking the same thing, right? I think where it gets lost, I think what you have to get at the core of, and I think I got off topic a little bit where you were, Skinner, but what I'm saying is we just believe that these people have it so well. Why would they fuck up, or why would they have problems? Because they have so much money. And for me, it would be even more. It's a double. Let let me put it this way. I like music, but I'm not big into music, so I don't dream about being a rock star. Does that make sense? But like people that play NBA basketball, I love playing basketball as a kid. Did I think I was going to be an NBA player? Hell no. Hell no. But to me, to be able to play basketball at a high level and make that kind of money just seems so fucking wonderful. Like, why would you have other problems? But you know what? You do. Because you got family, friends, you got other things going on. I don't know what that journey is like. And so to answer your question about Kyrie Irving, I don't know enough about it. And to be frank with you, I've been very selective about what news I get involved in these days because it will entangle you big time. Very selective about what content I'm taking in. It's a slippery slope now with the internet and YouTube and all these things. You click on one thing and they're going to send you fucking shoo, shoo, shoo. If I click on the Kyrie Irving story, they're just going to send me shit about it, for 2 days. And it's not something I want to spend a lot of time on right now. I don't think Indian is bad. Indians have a good culture.
I didn't say that. But it's just annoying when someone just assume that I'm from India.
Well, I mean, that goes back to your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like someone thinking that you're someone not calling you who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think I'm half Asian because I have a little bit of a slanted eyes, especially my smile, but I don't get offended. But I've had people tell me that before. You're in San Diego? I lived in San Diego. I lived in Mission Beach and PB. Is it Som Chai or Som Che? What are you doing out there? Are you in university? San Diego State? Yes, I did door-to-door sales for 4 years. One of the bigger learning experiences of my life. It's good for you, dude. I mean, what did you sell, Derek D? I was in real estate. I did ladies' shoes for 4 years. That was a learning experience. But I wouldn't call myself. I never went to the dark side and was a sleazy salesperson. That's for damn sure. Basically, Kyrie hasn't played and won't play this week, but because no one knows exact reason, everyone is speculating why and bashing him. Made it worse by attending his sister's birthday party. It does look bad that he's attended his sister's birthday party. I do feel bad for celebrities in that sense that they just can't do anything. They can't take a shit without someone taking a picture of them. You know what I mean? It's like they say like that would be one thing that would drive you nuts with all the money and all the things, right? Is that you have no privacy and you have judgment on everything you do. That would suck. That would suck. I'd like to be, it would be nice to be a famous writer because at least like no one knows a writer. If you write a lot of books, Stephen King, you know him, but you wouldn't, if you saw Stephen King out, you wouldn't like run up to him in the restaurant or you don't have any bad press about him. So, I mean, for Kyrie Irving, I don't know what happened, so I'm not going to pass judgment because family shit and personal things can mean many things. And here, I think I've talked to Aleph about this before too. Sometimes, and I've learned this in my journey of doing breakup coaching and meeting so many different people and unpacking their lives. People are starting to come back to me more and more and talk to me about other stuff besides breakups. Because your breakup and your pain from your breakup is tied to other things in your life. It's all connected. And so you think like, why is this person acting this way? There's a reason. People aren't born fucking evil. Mm-hmm. People aren't born mean, I don't think. And it's not because of their genes. It's life experience. And so when you meet someone, and it's good in the book, You Can't Hurt Me, David Goggins, but anyone that you meet and you think to yourself, oh, why is this person acting this way? You don't fucking know. You don't know what they've been through, why they're, I've been insensitive before about people, and I'll be honest, about people with depression or anxiety because I couldn't relate to it before, right? It's not like I'm always happy. I just didn't have it happen to me at an extreme level for an extreme amount of time. And then when you get to know people, you're like, you got to know their reasons. The only thing is, people don't want to go around going, "Oh yeah, this is why this is my reason." They're not going to tell you, right? It's just like I've given the example when I was a kid. My dad was a bad alcoholic. My dad was mean when I was young. He was an asshole. But he also worked like 10 hours a day driving a truck in downtown San Francisco, and I don't know that. Now you're around my dad, he's gregarious and like laid back and chill, and I'm just like, oh, having a job where you work 50 hours a week that you don't like in traffic probably affects your personality. Doesn't mean I have to give my dad like a free pass, but I understand, right? Does that mean like, oh, dad didn't just do that because he's an asshole. He also was just burnt out on his job. Totally different person after he didn't have that job, right? And why did he have it? He's paying the bills. He's paying the house payment. He's doing this. Along the way, like I said, mean, ornery, bad drinker when I was a kid. He was able to overcome it, but there's a reason, man. There's a reason, and sometimes you have to know that reason. But people don't divulge that to you. It's like, why is someone jealous in a relationship? It's always a reason, dude. People aren't born jealous. And then someone's like, oh, all men are jealous, all women are jealous. No, just your girlfriend, dude. Let's just keep it to your girlfriend and her actions. Oh, well, all of them do this. No, just your girlfriend. People do that all the time. And your girlfriend's jealous because your dad cheated on her mom, her dad cheated on her mom, or someone cheated on her in the past. She's been burned before. That's how it works. That's why you need to write your story out. Because there are people on TV, they are idols. Eastern and Western cultures idolize the folks, make them gods. I'll take the money. Jen says, I'll take the money and give that life a try. Jen, I'm with you, hon. I always say I'll be a generous, kind, happy, rich person for sure. I've already got it mapped out who I would donate to. Also, for the most part, Americans love drama. Oh, everywhere loves drama. It's not just an American thing. That's exactly the point I'm making. People are way too invested in these people. Yes, okay. So it wasn't just like you're saying it's personal towards, because to be honest with you, I don't really like Kyrie Irving that much, but that's just because he probably beat us in the finals. That might be biased. But on what you're talking about, him having personal reasons, and then Steve Nash came out. I do know that Nash was like, I'm not going to divulge what's going on. It could be a variety of things, and I'll just respect the fact that if someone says they got to leave for business leave and they got a family issue, and I'm not their boss. If I was their boss, or I'm the owner of that team, he needs to tell me what's going on, or the coach, he needs to tell me what's going on. He doesn't need to tell the American media what's going on if it's private. Is today the day we finally get to see him? Who, Aleph?
Why?
Aleph said he wants to go to the gym a little bit longer.
Yep.
We got the equipment though to set this up. That's starting to look unneat in here. We're getting things ready for 2021. Working in healthcare. I thought looked half Asian. I live in North Park. PB is great. My stomping ground. Right on, man. I lived on Grand Avenue. I lived in the Ingram Apartments, and then in Mission Beach, I lived in Santa Barbara Place. Loved San Diego. Lived there for 4 years, dude. Now I live in Phuket. Did you grow up in San Diego? Samchai? You must, working in healthcare. Scripps? They got a lot of good stuff over there. UCSD. North Park. I didn't go there that often. There's a thing called drama addiction disorder. Some people, yeah. Well, I've talked to people about in breakups that there's sometimes partners that like drama. They like to create shit. I've done vacuums and an organic cleaner called Advantage and other things. Got started in real estate, but the time I got into real estate was bad. It was around the time the crash in '08. That's when I got out. I was in real estate for 3.5, 4 years, and that's 08's about when I moved to Thailand. And guess what? If I would have stayed in real estate in the Bay Area, I would have been a millionaire, or so I believe. I'll have to look up drama addiction disorder. I've not heard of it. Interesting. Chris Bouchard, the Tiger Woods scandal, crazy story on Tiger Woods. Yeah, that was what I was thinking in my head. Like, he's this huge villain. Surprise, surprise. Guys that are extremely rich and famous and athletes get hounded by numbers of women that we would never even fathom. And so, who am I to say, oh my God, what an asshole that he cheated on his wife when he's got 100 models at his door? I mean, if we put a lot of guys to that test, a lot would fail. Does it mean that what he did was right or wrong? That's for you to decide on your morals. But on the flip side, you're not in his shoes. I'll just say that much. The addiction to pills was a whole nother thing that could be blamed on the healthcare system and his accountability for getting caught up on drugs. More money, more problems. The great Mace said that, if you know who that is, Chris. I know the feeling, says Sam Chai. Yeah, super toxic people suffer from that, Rob. I've dated women in blue pill stage that were addicted to drama. Combative, super ego, hyper aggressive. God, that's more than... Jeez, man, that sounds like a horrible woman to date. Combative, super ego, and hyper aggressive. I'll pass. Jeez. Run, don't walk from that. 16-hour shift, 6 days a week, especially now with COVID. Samchai, you're doing some work. Scripps, I was correct? You work at Scripps? Well, if you're a doctor, you're a nurse, whatever you're doing out there, I applaud you for putting in the 16 hours, 16 days a week, 6 days a week. That's impressive and admirable. If you're in a breakup right now and you want to send your story into the channel, let me know and I'll do my best to help you out. See if I can do something for you since you're doing something for so many people, Mr. Samchai. It's a man, right? Not Samche?
Yeah, it's a man. It's a man.
But you wouldn't spell Samchai with a Y. You'd spell it with an I. Some people do with a Y.
I didn't say that before.
Somschay. Samchai?
Yeah, it's the same thing. If it's spelling.
I know the name Samchai.
Yeah.
I know Samchai.
But it's not also the pronounced like some chai.
Is that would Somchai mean orange brother? That's just because I know a little bit of Thai. Som means orange, correct?
Som, yeah. Som and som is different.
And chai can mean a boy or
chai
man.
is mean man, female.
But if you say P chai, then it's brother.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was just saying orange man. I knew it wasn't true. I'm just joking. Mac is your typical American guy living that Thai life. I don't even know what that means, but maybe it's true. I'll tell you what, I like living in Thailand. I like Thai people. I like Phuket, and I like the beach for sure. It doesn't get old. Alvarado? Is that... Alvarado, what's that? Samchai. He said it's Samchai, so yeah. It just was with a Y on the thing. Alvarado, maybe that's where you work. I'm not familiar. Pioneer Caddy. What's the advice of being in a 10-year relationship? 2 years of that was married, 3 kids, has left me for her ex, rebound, monkey branch. It's been 4 months now. Sorry, bro, you're going to not like this response, but I need to know your story. Write your story into writemac.com and I'll give you a full response. My short advice from your short story: 10-year relationship, 2 years of it. 2 years of that was married. 3 kids, has left me for her ex. Okay, and he wrote rebound monkey branch. It's been 4 months now. If she rebounded monkey branch, it doesn't matter. She left you for someone else. And if it's the ex, it's the same as leaving you for someone else. This is going to be really hard if you've been together 10 years and there's kids involved. I have a lot of empathy for that. I haven't been through that. It's going to be tough. There's going to be no easy way out. You're going to have to start from the ground floor. But here's the thing. You're not chasing, hoping, or wishing for this individual to come back at this point, because even if she did, I'm not sure you could trust her. I'd have to know, what led up to this. Did it come out of nowhere? That's why writing out your story and from the beginning, and Pioneer Caddy, it would probably be a long story. But it would be worth your time to write it out and get my opinion on it, because this will help you out with some clarity, because this is going to be tough, man. 10 years, 2 years married, 3 kids. Let go of the fact that it was a rebound or a monkey branch and just realize that that you gotta move forward and start with, like I said, unpacking what happened and why. Yeah, I was trying to steal it in the Chino Hills and the Bluffs in '08. Bad move as a green thumb. Chino Hills in Cali? I thought you were in Baltimore, dude. Toxic cocktail. Alvarado Hospital. I'm not familiar with that one. Really Samchai. Okay. Do a live coaching with Mac. You won't regret it. He's worth every penny. Thank you, Jen. Is the 3 kids with her ex? Good question. Jenny. Well, hello there. Said Jenny. Jen says, Jenny? All right. I do have a special treat for you all. Danny popped up. What? Cookies? I'm unsure where they are. I think Ball Brothers didn't pop till 12. Chino Hills is where they had Friday too, I think. So I do have a story that was written in. So I'll just share it on the live stream. We've got 14 on deck, 2 likes. Everyone likes a story, right? Everyone likes a story. So this person sent their story in a couple days ago. If you want to send in your breakup story to writemac.com, please do. And if you want to join the Discord, I'm just gonna reattach it one more time for anyone that copy that link. If you want to if you want to join that. Pioneer Caddy, you might want to join the Discord also. I would suggest, Pioneer Caddy, it's worth your time, bud. I mean, sometimes people come to the live stream and they're like, "Oh, you can't just answer me now." I mean, if you want tailored good advice, I need to know your story, and you need to sit down with the story and really write it out. Don't hold anything back. And then my style is to go back over the story and give my advice. And what makes it really work, as I'm stuttering, what makes it really work is that it's your words and you get everything out before I even talk. And a lot of people find just writing out the stories therapeutic. It does. Oh, that's huge that you got your own place. That can't be understated. If you got a divorce or you're with someone, if you stay in the same house, especially if you were married for 10 years, you got to get out of that house or that condo. I was mentally abused most of them years, and her excuse was she don't think I can make her happy, and marriage wasn't for her. It seems like she has some unfinished business with her ex from over 10 years ago. That stings, man. I mean, to read it, I mean, if that's true and that's how you feel, that hurts. But I'll give you one thing, Pioneer Caddy, you got a lot of clarity right there. You got a lot of clarity and you got a lot of reason to be done. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're not going back to that. What you just wrote there, you're not going back to that. So you're already clear on one thing. I'm not going to revisit that thing. Sam Chai, Poo Chai.
Mm-hmm. Meal.
I'm always at work, never home. This damn COVID messed everything up. I'm like the easiest guy to chat on cause I'm never home. Not my choice. It's the shortage of nurses. We work long hours. He's laughing. So Samchai, why did you come here? Did you have a breakup? Or I'm confused. Are you I always welcome Thai people, but I'm just curious. Did you come because you have a breakup or an issue? All right, let me get into the breakup story. We're at 118. This individual said, when are you going to read my story? All right, ready, folks? Should we just put some music in there just to get it right? Is everyone ready for this story? Maybe we'll just keep the music on just to switch it up a little bit. My name is... I don't say names. I went through a bad breakup. A lot of people are out there with you, my friend. Still feel pain from it, but gets better and better. I dated my ex for 7 years. 7 years is a long time to do dating. I always wonder about when someone says I dated versus I was with someone, because I think it's different. But some people just say I dated. Come to find out she never loved me or cared about me. Says who? You? See, these are strong, dramatic statements. If someone was with you for 7 years, is that something you just came to the conclusion because you broke up now and that you have that narrative? Is that something that they told you? Or do you have some real reasons for that? Because if someone fooled you for 7 years that they loved and cared about you, then you got to work on being able to read situations a little bit better. She used me all those years as a safety net. Okay, that's a victim statement. I'm going to be honest with you. Told me everything I wanted to hear so I could deny my feelings. I would ask you for some examples of that. My feelings were new. She didn't love me like I loved her. So you're saying she cared less about the relationship, so she ran it. If you were dating her for 7 years, my feelings were I knew she didn't love me like I loved her. If you knew that, when did you know it? Did you know it in year 2, year 3, year 4? If that's the case, you're a part of this problem. It's not all her fault. You accepted something, and then now that it didn't work out, you're saying, well, this isn't fair. It's not how it works. I was blinded by love. I did a lot for her. Okay, so this is another thing that happens. I would strongly recommend that you read the book No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover, because it sounds like you have a covert contract where you're like, I did this, this, and this for her, and she didn't do this for me. And when you get into relationships and you're like that, you start keeping a scorecard. And it might be true. It might be true that you did more for her. I get it. But at what point were you going to take your power back and go, this isn't even? At what point were you going to go, this is one-way traffic? If you were dating her for 7 years, part of this is on you. Paid bills, helped her build credit, put food on her plate. She cheated on me. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you that's actually a positive. If you did those things with good intentions because you cared about her and loved her, no regrets. No regrets. You did your part as a good partner and a good human being and a good boyfriend. The results that happened that she cheated on you, this shit happens. Doesn't mean I give her a free pass, but you don't need to discount the fact that what you did was with good intentions. She has been cheating for quite some time, the whole 7 years. How long did you know? I caught her. The only way I had to is by putting cameras in our bedroom to watch her send nudes to whoever. It was bad. She denies it all, saying she took those pics and videos for herself. It was their only way to get solid evidence and free myself from it all. Well, bravo and kudos for the fact that you got solid evidence if that's what you needed. I've had a guy that had this is a true story, that had this is someone I knew that was like a family friend. He was married for 20 years. So imagine this going on for another 13 years, dude. And they had 2 kids, and his wife had told him the last 5 years that she no longer wanted to have sex. He was 50. And so they were like, at 45, she just cut off I don't want to have sex anymore. I'm tired. It doesn't feel the same, da-da-da. And so he agreed and was like, oh, okay, this is just what happens in marriage. And the kids are teenagers right now. So they basically just stopped having sex. He had already had suspicions that she was hooking up with one of the neighbors. But he had no evidence. Then he did what you did and put a tape recorder somewhere. Not a video camera, but a tape recorder, got his evidence, and he was done. So what I'm telling you is by taking the bull by the horns, putting the cameras up, getting the evidence, go for you. That's what you needed. Good for you not believing it's not true. I just was making those pictures for myself. Now you have set yourself free. You got the key to the jail cell, and you went, I'm out. Doesn't mean it's going to feel good. But don't go around whistleblowing to everyone you know and going, she did me wrong. She did this to me. You can do it for a little while, man. You can do it for a little while, but how about this? You now have the ability to maneuver. You now have freedom. You now are not with someone that doesn't appreciate and love you the way you love and appreciate them. You now have the ability to recover, to resurrect. I also came to find out she cheated on me with a married man. She would send her guy friends porn, and they would do the same back. Every disgusting to do as a human being. She never wanted to be with me, but I was blind. Well, you aren't blind now. All paths lead to now. We broke up on July 14, 2020. Now it's Jan 2021. I think she is in a relationship with her ex. She's also cheated on before she met me. I think they got together in December. I'm not sure. I found out a few days ago. I'm shocked. I do wish her the best. Wow, that is kind of you. I don't know if it'll work out with them or not. You don't want to know. But I'm wishing them both the best. But I guess what do you think about all this? There is much more to say about it, but what is your input on what you know so far from what I've told you? Move on, move forward, move on, move forward, move on, move forward. It's not easy. If you want to have a coaching session with myself and just dump all this stuff out, it might be good for you. Say everything you need to say, all the bad things she did to you. Tell me about them. All the details for an hour. But here's the good news. You're done. There's no alternative to this. I would highly recommend that you, whatever way you're keeping tabs on her being with someone new, get rid of that. Friends, social media, or whatever that are telling you about she's got a new person, you don't want to know. Because you're not going back. You're not getting back with this individual. This is not one of those things where it's like, I want my ex back. This is one of those situations where you've been hurt bad. And it's going to take a while for you to heal. But any news about what she's up to is just going to hurt you some more. And you have power over that. But the good news is you're done. You're done. And now it's just going to take some time. You're going to have to put your heart back in place and do some things. Like I said, if you want to talk about it and get way deep into what happened and why, we can do that. We can do that in a coaching session. And whenever you send in your story like this guy did and it's $25, I will take that $25 and put it towards a live coaching session. So it will be credited. So that's at the 120, 118, 127 mark. So I'll send him an email. All right, folks, let's get into this. Alep's getting tired. He said he needs to get his lunch. We got 18 on deck, 4 likes. Thanks for the donations. I appreciate it. All money is good money. I promise I'll use it wisely. So here we go. But why? My ex cheated the whole time, but now when he's single and free, now wants to be alone. Okay, so I missed something from that. Damn, Samchai's putting in some work, though. 16 hours a day, 6 days a week.
16 hours a day? Wow. 8 hours of rest?
6, yeah. Well, Samchai, if you want to talk on your day off, I'm here for you, bud. That sounds, that's more work than a 6-day week in Thailand, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Samchai never thought mindset, brother. Not everybody cheats.
For the most hour for a day that they're working that I heard is about 12 hours.
I mean, right now in the medical field, though, like a lot of people are working overtime because the hospitals are full. I feel like you stay in people's energy when you can't forgive them, especially when you hold a grudge. It's true, Derek. It's still difficult. It's still difficult. A lot of that is reframing why you're angry at someone. You know what I've done a lot better is it's not what someone did to you. It's how did they become the person to do that to you. Does that make sense? So it's like I told you earlier, referencing my father when he was mean or did some mean things when I was young and it was hard to forgive. It's like I said, he was working 12 hours a day at a job he didn't like and traffic. Now some people are like, there's no excuse, but could I understand it better? Yeah. Getting to the point where you look at someone's whole life and their full life experiences to where they make a decision where you go, why the fuck would you do that? Because they didn't live the life you lived and you didn't live the life they lived and you don't have the experiences they have. And you have to agree to disagree. You have to agree to go, it's okay if you see the world that way, I don't see it that way. Sounds really simple, can be very difficult, but I can help you with it. That's what I do. I feel like you stay in people's energy. I have my ups and downs, but I do decide to. This is only because of I love her, my marriage, and vows to kids. I get it, Pioneer Caddy. When I read what you wrote, 10 years, marriage, kids involved, not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. Like I said, write out your full story if you like. That being said, you got clarity. You hold on to that, even the smallest place. It's almost like limbo. You're tormented until you become a piece of it yourself, then move on. Rob, did you share with Derek what I sent you? Okay, so that's a private thing. Nah, OP knew better. Never disregard your intuition. If you do, ignore it. It's self-sabotage to the point where you wanted to fall. Prove yourself right. Cameras in the bedroom? Why when men have a loyal woman, sexy, good mom too, they intentionally find time to cheat? So this is where you're wrong, Jenny. Why when men, so you're generalizing all men. Correction, your man, your experience. Don't generalize. Because this isn't one of those politically correct statements either. This is just something that's not going to serve you with men in the future, that you somehow believe that they all do this. Your relationship and your man did this. They intentionally find time to cheat. Intentionally find time to cheat, but when they lose that woman, they all of a sudden don't want to find someone else. So I would need to know your full story, Jenny, to break that down with you. But that kind of frame on the situation is not going to serve you moving forward. Mac, did you ever get a follow-up on that story? I'm sorry, which story? Cheated with a married man. Maybe she's a porn addict. But why? My ex cheated the whole time, but now when he's single and free, now wants to be alone. Why does it bother you that, first of all, if he cheated and you're done, you're hurt, you're upset, you have a right to be angry, you have a right to be upset. But if he wants to be alone now, why is that affecting you so much? Because you don't want to be back with him, do you? If I were you, I would shed any kind of contact with this individual. Damn, I'm not that better about it like he is. Ha ha, I'm moving on. Can't forget the music. Yeah, bro, you can't do that. Cameras that no trust. If you don't see what's going on with your own eyes, don't use the ghost eyes. I mean, that's the thing. Cameras don't lie. That's the thing about the 21st century is the camera's catching a lot of people doing some shit where they can't say, I didn't do that. Men going their own way. It's a movement that has gained popularity in recent years. And get this, he lived with his mom almost. I lived alone with the kids and our kids. Oh, the guy with the camera cameras in the bedroom? I mean, that was the story that I just got sent right now, so there was no follow-up to that. It doesn't hurt me or anything. I'm cool. Oh, you're talking about the story that I referenced? That guy's married now. It doesn't hurt me or anything. I'm cool. It's been 2 years. I've healed from that. It was just a question. Okay. But do you see how you frame that, Jenny? Why do men? No, why did my guy? This is where people, when you generalize that, Jenny, have you met someone else that you're dating now, or do you believe that all men cheat? Just curious. Do you believe like all men do this? Or have you been in a situation where you feel like when you're dating a man now you don't trust him? I still have faith in them. Okay. Wow, he's strong for trusting his marriage again. But did he mention if his ex-wife tried to get him back? No, I haven't talked to that guy directly, Skinner. He, from what I heard, I wasn't surprised though, because number one, so this particular guy that you're asking about, he was in a 20-year marriage. When I had talked to him, this had just happened. And they had been not having sex for 5 years, and he was suspicious of her cheating. So he wasn't, the interesting thing was he wasn't that hurt because the marriage was already over. Does that make sense? So he just got the evidence he needed, and he had a really good job. He was pretty religious in the sense, he's Christian, but I don't know which form of Christianity he is, but he went to church every Sunday. So I believe that's part of believing in marriage. And he was at 50 years old, he was like in good shape and everything like that. He already had women interested in him. I mean, he was telling me like there was a lady at his job that was, right when she found out he was broken up, was into him. So that lines up a lot of times out of a breakup. When someone's like someone's monkey branch or something like that, them having a good job, them being a good catch, them being in good shape, it counts to their recovery. A lot of times we're like, oh, what a snake. He had options immediately. But he also, I think he was already checked out on the marriage when 5 years of no intimacy. And he had one kid still in high school, so they were kind of waiting on that, I think. But once he got that evidence, he was dust. Wow, camera in the bedroom, hurting yourself. What you see will always be your mind in your mind, right, Coach? There's some techniques if you have something that you've seen that you keep coming back to. There's NLP, neuro-linguistic programming techniques that I've read about that I've actually used that help. If there's an image, you keep going back over it, because I know what you mean. I'm glad that the guy was able to move on. Definitely, Jen. One of my friends, female, can never stay faithful. Sometimes you have to break in order to progress, Samchai. That's true. All right, any closing questions? We did an hour and 38 minutes. This was a healthy live stream, much better than when I got into 14 minutes and got slashed, and then got slashed 8 minutes later. I thought I was going to do the same thing today, and then it came back on, so I don't know what the hell happened. Closing questions. Like, you have to see that undeniable proof that the other person doesn't care, because you can talk yourself out of that without proof. I think that you want to trust them, you want to believe them, but you know deep down. But when you have video camera proof, it's dust. It can't hurt though to see those images, obviously. SMFH expectations. I don't know what that means. SMFH. I don't know what that is, Pioneer Caddy. Are you actually a caddy? Just curious. One of the greatest movies of the early 80s, Caddyshack. It's in the hole. Have you ever seen that one, Aleph?
Mm.
It's in the hole. It's a Cinderella story.
When you made it sound like that, I think of Nikolai.
The Russian guy that helped set up our
petrol guy.
the guy that's helped set up our microphones. He first came to see my microphone set up for the YouTube before. He's like, "This is for kids. This is for kids. Nikolai, come here. Let's help me." It's funny.
But he is cool guy, Petro.
Oh, both of them are. Both of them are. Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to give someone you care about the benefit of the doubt, but once you see for yourself, proofs, You know what's funny about all that, Derek D? Is people always say, I just want to know, and then when they want to know, it doesn't necessarily make you feel better. It can make you feel worse, but it's clarity. Kath is the start of my first name. Why do you keep retracting your messages all the time? T-Jot made me think of that one cartoon. PB, go down the hole. T-Jat? I'm getting lost here. All right, folks, feel free to join the Discord if you like. If you want to join my Instagram, it's Coach Mac McCarthy. If you want to write into writemac.com, if you have a story you want to share, WRITEMAC.com. It's been a pleasure, KKM. Derek D, the door-to-door salesman of vacuums at one point in his life. I love that story. There's actually, another person that comes on the live streams, Mary. She said she used to sell Kirby vacuums, if you know what those are. Jen and Jenny, not the same person. Welcome to the live stream today. Thanks for contributing. Sam Chai. Pu Tai Dai Gang Mok. Chai Mai. Not Som Chai. Not Orange Man, but Sam Chai.
Yep.
It was good to have someone from San Diego also, if you want to send your story in or come on a live stream. And I just want to say, you're doing big things, 16 hours a day, 6 days a week at the hospital. I'm sure they need you, and you're helping a lot of people out there. And I just want to say thank you, just from a human point of view. That's impressive, dude. It sounds like you're doing what you have to do beyond whatever breakup or any situation is.
It's a hard job, bro.
Mm-hmm. Any job in a hospital, I think, is stressful right now. Mm-hmm. Brand new Skinner, always a pleasure. I hope Patrick Williams is the future for you guys. Rob I.S., Guardian of the Gate, always appreciated. Skinner threw me $1.99. I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Chris Boutron, thanks for chiming in. Pioneer Caddy, I wish you nothing but the best. 10 years is a long time, but it's not your life. It's just a chapter, my friend. A breakup, a relationship, a divorce does not define the Pioneer Caddy. Tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. Anyone else today? Dude, it was a surprise pick, but he looks legit. I'll give you that. All right, folks, it's curtains. Take it easy.